Hello everyone and welcome to this next video in which I will be talking about what I expect to see in the next iPhone, which will be the iPhone 6. It's due to be released sometime around September this year, and I just want to talk about some of the things that I'd like to see in the iPhone 6 that would make me consider buying it when it comes out. The first thing that I'd like to see is a bigger screen. One of the major complaints for me about the iPhone, particularly with the fact that I have visual problems, is the fact that the screen is too small. And a lot of other users that have come to iPhone have found that 4 inches is too small for a number of tasks, particularly watching videos and texting or doing any sort of writing on the phone itself, because the keyboard, because it's so small and compact on a 4-inch display, it's not big enough, and therefore you make more errors when you're typing. Also, as I said, video is a problem because watching video on a 4-inch display isn't pleasurable. So I think that the first thing that I'd like to see on the iPhone 6 is a bigger display, and we're likely to see that because the rumours suggest that we'll probably see either a 4.7 or a 5.5 inch or both iPhone 6. So I hope that that's what we'll get. The second thing is a bigger battery. Because of the 4-inch display that I stated just a second ago, the phone is smaller and therefore the battery has to be smaller. But because the screen will be bigger in the iPhone 6, if the rumours are true, that generally equates that the battery can be bigger because the device itself will be bigger. So hopefully we'll see a bigger battery in the iPhone 6, but then we have to compensate for the fact that the screen is bigger and that battery has to power that display, and therefore battery life may need to be optimised more aggressively, because particularly on iOS 7 battery life was a major problem, and I hope that iOS 8 has lots of power management features that iron out any problems that Apple may come across or users may come across when using iOS 8, and that we don't have the same problem that we had with iOS 7 where battery life was a major problem. I'd also like to see a bigger emphasis on the camera. The 8 megapixel camera on the iPhone 5S is excellent, but in a world where the megapixel war is going on, I think that the iPhone 6 needs to come to at least 13 megapixels in resolution, and I think that that's achievable, and I think Apple can do that. So at least a 13 megapixel camera would be nice, but even if it's 8 megapixels, I want them to do something different, because this would mean that we've had 8 megapixels for 3 iterations of the iPhone, and it needs to come with something beneficial. For example, an 8 megapixel sensor with OIS would be useful, which is optical image stabilization. I think that would be something that would be greatly welcomed. And we also need to see more emphasis on, particularly in video. I think that Apple will probably bring 4K recording to the iPhone, but we'll have to wait and see what actually happens in that area. The next thing I'd like to see is with a bigger display. I'd like, particularly with the 5.5 inch iPhone, if it is going to be an iPhone, I think that the use of that display is something very important, and how it's used. So if it's true that there is split screen multitasking within iOS 8 that's been uncovered, I think that would be very useful, because there's no point in having a big display if you can't make use of it. So I think that that's something key to the success of the bigger iPhones, and whether people like them or not, it's whether the constitution of having a big display is worth the display you get, because you can do more with it. And I think that that's something that Apple will have to prove to people when these phones come out. The final thing I'd like to see in the iPhone 6 is probably something to do with NFC and probably wireless charging, because I think that's something else that could solve the battery issue problems, if there are any. The ability to charge your phone up wirelessly anywhere would be useful. So for example, if you go to work, you can set yourself up a wireless charger, drop your iPhone on it, and it charges while you're working. And then if you go home and you're watching TV and you're just occasionally messaging people, you can put on a wireless charger and take it off when you want to reply. And I think wireless charging and NFC would be useful in the iPhone, because then you can pay for things with your phone. You can put your credit cards and your bank cards and other things like that on your loyalty cards on your phone, and scan them in the shops and stores that you visit most often. So I think that those are the things that I would look for, particularly for me personally, in the next iPhone. So now I want to know what you want to see in the iPhone 6. Please leave these in the comments below, which is down here, and I will also leave links to my social networks, which will be in the description below, which is also down here. And if you liked this video, please like it, and if you want to subscribe to me and see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button, which is somewhere around here as well. So once again, I have been Zodiac Fang. I would thank you very much for watching my video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.